So one of the most important aspects of real estate photography is making sure that you're capturing everything you need to capture when you arrive on site. And I'm talking about making sure that you know how many bedrooms there are and how many bathrooms there are. There have been times where I've walked into a master bedroom and didn't notice that there was a bathroom tucked around the corner behind a dresser. It was hidden. And again, I wasn't thinking, gee, I should probably ask the homeowner how many bathrooms there are, and making sure that I'm not getting distracted along the way, making sure that I capture the 3 bedrooms and the 2 baths or whatever is in this house. Now, if you have an opportunity to talk with the realtor on site, make sure you ask these questions, or the homeowner, if the homeowner's there, making sure that they give you a tour and they show you where all these things are. Don't just assume that that shut door in the hallway is just a closet. There's been a handful of times that a door shut in a hallway I thought was just a closet. Turns out it was a full-blown on bathroom for the master bedroom that was across the hall. And guess what? You have to go back and shoot that. And that wastes a whole lot of time. The one master bathroom that was tucked in around the corner was a 20-minute drive out of my way. So you have to make sure that when you're getting on site that you know that, and you want to also know and have a game plan and a shot list for how to capture your exterior photos too. So I'm going to bring you into Lightroom right now, and we're just going to go walk you through a full listing shoot, and I'm going to explain composition. We're going to explain clutter and what to do and how to show the space in pretty much every listing shoot. So let's get into Lightroom right now. All right, so these aren't in real particular order, but this is how I shot this particular house. This was a house on a fairly good sized lot. I would say maybe an acre or 2 in a nice quiet neighborhood. So I just come down to the far corner and we're shooting the backyard. So I want to make sure I capture enough of the backyard as possible. We're just going to go through these fairly quickly. Here is a nice direct shot showing the full backyard. This was probably the property boundary lines, and that's the other good tip, making sure that you're showing the full property and knowing where those property lines are. So for example, if the neighbor's shed looks like it's their shed or it's on their property, make sure that you're not including that. This is showing the back porch. And again, showing other angles, showing the perspective of sitting on the porch. Here's another angle over these chairs, giving you kind of the perspective. And notice the height that I'm shooting this in. And I don't actually use a tripod for any of my exterior photos because I'm using the Micro Four Thirds camera. Their stabilization is so good. And I have the levelers on there, so I make sure that I am level and that my verticals are correct. And you can use the side of a building right here to make sure that your verticals are correct. And of course, you can always correct them in post, but it does help to get them super accurate on site first. So again, just walking the property, showing the highlights of it. Here's a fireplace with a hammock. I mean, look at how relaxing that it looks. And again, shooting the property from the other direction. We wanted to show that, showing from the backside the entire house, if you can fit it in. Moving on to a different perspective of that porch, showing the full size of it here. And this is another porch off to the side. This is the tree where that hammock is attached to. So this is another porch off to the left side of the house. And now we're moving to the inside of the house. Now, this first living room shot, I just wanted to show the fireplace and the size of it, but I did make a mistake. So there is something that you really want to make sure that you're showing, if in all possible, or at least 3 walls. Obviously, the 4th wall, you would be up against, you're not going to be able to show 4 walls generally unless you're doing a 3D tour. So trying to get 3 walls in every one of your shots, because that shows how big the space is. Because if you look, we don't know if there's a wall right behind this couch, and it's really tough to tell. So I probably would have shot this differently looking back. I would have probably angled it so I'm more head on with this. So let's move on to this next shot. And again, this was highlighting the fireplace. So if you are trying to highlight a feature in the house, then that rule doesn't always apply, the 3 wall rule, okay? So let's move on to the next shot. Here it is. Okay, so now we're showing this room. This is probably how I should have shot that living room, is from this perspective. But we have our 3 walls. We have a door leading in right here showing that space. So you can get a grasp of how big that room is. Let's move on to the next shot. Okay, so here we are. Now we're going on the other side, and you can see that it's here is this wall. And again, these are old photos. I've improved my skill tremendously, so don't judge me on like the uneven color in this shot. And I'm looking at this now going, wow, really need to work on that color balance, you know. So, but that's not a video for that. This is just showing you how to go about walking through a property and what to shoot, okay? Here's a closet going to the downstairs. And again, nothing artistically fancy about this one, just showing the space, showing the storage. That's key. I really like to show storage. Okay, again, 3-point perspective, showing that there's seating area right here, most likely the kitchen, and we'll get to a kitchen shot very soon. From the other side, showing into that room. So we're kind of just walking the potential buyer through the house. Moving on to the kitchen. Now, kitchen shots are very important. Typically, what you want to do is keeping your, in any other room, not counting the kitchen, but keeping an even amount of floor space and ceiling space in your frame. So you're not having too much ceiling. If your tripod is too high, then you're going to show way too much ceiling, and if it's too low, you're going to have too much flooring. So you want to try to even that out between the back wall, where the floor meets the back wall, and where it meets that ceiling. Try to keep them at equal distances from each other, if that makes sense, okay? So kitchens are a different story. We want to make sure that we can see the top of the countertops, but we can't see underneath the cabinets when at all possible. So according to this one, I think I did pretty good. We can see the top of the counter, but we cannot see under the cabinet. So that's how you kind of can gauge the height of your kitchen shot. So let's move on to the next one. Here it is from the other end. And once you have that tripod height established, you just get all your kitchen angles. So for me, I show this side of the kitchen, and then I show the other side of the kitchen. There's nothing else to show. There's a wall on either side, and we're done with the kitchen. Moving on to the dining room now. And again, we have that 3-point perspective, that 3-wall perspective. The open doorway right here to the right, I made sure I shown that in its full. And moving on to this shot. This is another angle. We can tell that this is the kitchen. So we want to show multiple sides of each room. Usually in the downstairs. I usually only do one image in each bedroom, depending though. We'll get to that. Here's a basement shot. I like the pool table that's there that shows the size of it, and we can see how far back it goes. Again, this would be considered maybe a 2-point perspective. It'd be nice if I would have shown this wall over here to the right side. That's something that I probably should have done. And again, this is just a utility room showing that it's updated, you know, utilities in the basement, you know, brand new water heater, that kind of stuff. So again, those, if you're just highlighting a feature, don't worry about the 3 walls rule. Here's a tip. If there's a super small bathroom, maybe don't try to show the bathroom in and of itself. If it's just a sink and a toilet, step back a little bit and see if you can show it in relation to the room that it is off of. In this case, I show that this is where that bathroom is, off to this side where that other seating area is here. So just a tip there. All right, here is a bedroom shot. I don't mind this one. Maybe could have came into the room a little bit farther. But again, we have to watch that we are showing that wall to the left here. And if we just crop that in, that looks a lot better. So we do have a wall right here. It's kind of hard to tell, so maybe I should have came in. If you're able to, try to angle it so you can get that 3 wall to show the size. But again, maybe not in this situation, because one of the features is these built-ins with that seating area right there. So again, there's always exceptions to every rule. Let's move on. Another bedroom. Okay, we're just clipping this wall here. We need to show that wall here, because it's hard to tell how big it is. Yes, maybe we say that this dresser right here is up against this wall. It's still hard to tell, in my opinion. Here it is. Here's another example. Two wall perspective, where we're there's a dresser here. Maybe that is the giveaway of that. And again, depending on how wide you shoot, you might not be able to get the 3 walls in a tiny bedroom, and it might look funny if but I could have maybe swung my camera to the right just a little bit more. And here's a good perspective, okay? We have enough of this 3rd wall here to show the size of the room. I like that. That looks really good. So I'm shooting at Micro Four Thirds, and so again, this was actually at 9mm. That'd be 18mm full frame. So borderline, I could have gone a little wider in some of these shots. Maybe I would have got that 3rd wall in some of these bedrooms. And I do actually have my Leia 7.5, which is 15mm. I'd say 15mm is about the sweet spot. Any wider, then you really start to get kind of clown house, a little bit distorted. So, and again, now for your exterior, you're going to want to make sure that you're shooting straight on in front of the house, and then all 4 corners as you walk around the house. So, and also keep in mind that you want to have that one money shot for the realtor to use as their cover photo, and that is typically the front of the house, whatever is considered the front of the house, and I believe it was something like this. But I gave them a couple options by shooting around the house. Obviously, they wouldn't want to show this one, so they wanted to show this. All right, so let's do a recap. Make sure when you get on site that you have that shot list in your head. You're going to get outside and do your 4 corners and your front and back. Once you get inside, making sure that you're aware and knowledgeable of how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms there are. And if you don't know, start opening all the doors in the house so you don't miss anything, okay? And then, of course, making sure that you're paying attention to that 3-wall rule whenever applicable and ever possible. You're not shooting too wide, but you're not shooting so narrow that you're not able to fit the room in, because that could make the room look smaller than it is. And again, you're shooting too wide, it'll make the room look bigger than it is. And so we want to represent the house as best as we can for potential sellers, because if you're helping that realtor sell that house, they're going to keep calling you back for work. You become a team member for that realtor, and that is important to have that mindset. Is like, you're not just you're not solely doing this by yourself. Consider yourself part of that realtor's team. If they feel like you're part of their team, you're in business. You already got them probably for almost every one of their listings if it justifies having decent photos. And a lot of times they'll use you just to get the listing. So making sure that you're super reliable and you're delivering your photos quickly. So leave me a comment below if you have any questions about composition or anything that I discussed. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button and click that subscribe button. Tutorials are coming out all the time. Remember, I am here to help you grow your real estate photography business. We will see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.